a little bit, but we were hoping today to just, find out a little bit more about your company and what your email marketing needs are and how we might be able to help you.
Yeah, okay.
So, where are you guys located?
We're in Langley, BC, in Canada. Where are you guys?
Oh, excellent. We're based in Silicon Valley in San Jose.
Oh, okay, okay. So we got the same time zone, but country apart.
Right, exactly. Yeah, my daughter was just up in BC a little while ago. She took a trip with her friends up
Oh,
to
good choice.
exactly. We're just up there. Um, so so tell me a little bit about your what you guys do. You do HVAC items, is that right?
The which? Sorry, you're breaking up a bit.
Um, yeah, tell me a little bit about what your company does.
Okay, well, we're a plastics manufacturer. We do have two major divisions. One is HVAC, yeah, and that comprises probably like 20% of the business, and then the other 80% or so is telecommunications. So we make all plastic, no metal products, and manufactured here, and it's all enclosure products. So, for example, a lot of our customers, we have a lot of U.S. customers, in addition to Canadian customers like Comcast, Time Warner, and such. And we provide the enclosures that go on the outside and then also the inside of the home that for the termination of fiber optics specifically, but also cable and whatnot, and then distribution throughout the house. So our business is growing really quickly because we were dominant in Canada, and then we moved into the U.S. Probably 3 or so years ago when business is booming. We got the customers, and we're scaling up, and so that's why we brought in Salesforce, was to try to manage all those contacts and leads and whatnot, and then market to them. So presently, we use Salesforce for in terms of marketing. We use it to provide we have a e-newsletter that we send out, so it's vertical response, and we draw all our contacts and leads from Salesforce directly into vertical response for a mailing list of about 1,500 or so people, depending on the division. And then also we use Salesforce for some internal marketing as well for the collaboration portion of it, the chatter feature. So, but the email marketing is something that's done well for us, but we're always looking for ways to improve it and make it more effective. So, I saw that you guys had some options there, so I thought I'd find out what you have to offer.
Okie doke. So you're currently using vertical response, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you're doing a newsletter. You say to 1,500 contacts, is that right?
Yeah, like the HVAC division, I think 1,500, and the telco's around 1,000, I think. So I'd say 2,500 total. Yeah.
Okay. And you send out a newsletter. How often do you send something out?
Twice a month, and then every so often for like new product announcement, periodically. On top of that.
Okie doke. And there must be some, when you say you're looking to improve, there must be some objectives or something that you're not totally happy with. Maybe some pains you're having with your current setup.
Well, I don't love vertical. Yeah, I don't love vertical response. It's not excellent, but it does plug in to Salesforce, so it does the job, and it's okay. But I'm sure there's better ways of doing it.
Is it natively integrated? Can you enter into vertical response directly from your Salesforce instance, or do you have to leave Salesforce?
What I do, so we leave Salesforce to actually construct the email, and then we go into Salesforce to set up the mailing list and actually send out.
And
So it's plugged in. I suppose you could use it for the design within Salesforce, but I mean it's more efficient to
okay, so
use it as
one
standalone.
one question I have, James, when you say you create the mailing
Yeah,
list in Salesforce, do you kind of create the
yeah.
mailing list and have been exporting it out and then uploading in vertical response?
No. So what we have a feature, a sign-up feature on the website, and then when we import leads from like trade shows and things like that, there's an option within Salesforce to have for e-newsletter. So we'll check that off for manually for leads from trade shows that we import from an Excel sheet, and then for the website sign up for the
Mm-hmm.
e-newsletter, it checks it off automatically. So when it comes time to make the mailing list, I'll for let's say the HVAC side, I'll create a mailing list based on a few parameters, and it's division, which division it is, if it's a contact or a lead,
Right,
and
right.
then also if assuming that, and then the criteria would be making sure that that newsletter checkbox is checked. So, and then it filters out all those results in Salesforce, and then I use those to send it out. That's the mailing list.
Got it. So, okay, so it automatically then newsletter from vertical response goes to that filtered list of your within Salesforce.
Yes.
Understood. Michael, sorry for interruption. I got my thing.
That's okay. Would that checkbox be a standard field or a custom field in Salesforce, Junaid? Or
Yeah, it's a custom field, I believe. Well, I think it's been customized. It's out of the box, but it's been customized, yeah.
okie doke. All right, and so jumping around back and forth from within vertical response is a little bit of a pain, huh?
Yeah, and I don't love the interface for vertical response, and sometimes it times out and things like that, so it's not as efficient as it could be. But
How are you?
I mean, it does the trick. So.
How are you doing on delivery?
Pretty good. It's hovering around 20% open rate, so we're pretty pleased with that. And then we can one thing actually I don't really like the in vertical response, all the metrics. You can't really. It's not like I've used other email service providers such as Mailchimp, and I found that it's way easier to track everything through that. With vertical response, it's a little trickier. It's not great. So being able to track everything is something that I'd like to improve.
Okay.
Like open rates and all that kind of stuff, and which links are being followed, and who exactly, and maybe even like region-wise, what regions are opening it more. Is it Americans or is it Canadians, or a specific part or a specific segment of the mailing list we're sending to?
Do you do any website tracking at all?
We do. Yeah, we got Google Analytics and whatnot.
But does vertical response track any of that for you? Any website?
Not really, not very well. No.
All you get is clicks and opens and
yeah, very basic info.
Very basic. Okay.
Yeah, but it's just not. It doesn't. Like I said, I've used other programs that has more robust data that you get back from it, and vertical response is just kind of the one that we had going in, and we started using it, and then we got it up and running. But we always considered shifting over something else if there was a better option available.
Sure. Okay. So your total number of unique contacts that you have, you think, in Salesforce? I mean, is it?
Yeah, probably 2,500.
About 2,500. Okay. And let's see. Have you? looked into automation at all? I mean, you're sending out mass emails. Have you looked at doing automation or any sort of? No, our platform does a lot more than just mass email. So, are you familiar with marketing automation at all, and kind of what you can?
A little bit, yeah. I'd like to see. Yeah, tell me about your platform and what it can do. I'd like to hear that.
Yeah. Well, there's. We can certainly do what you're doing with vertical response. I think, one thing that's nice about MakeSbridge is you can access it directly from within your Salesforce instance. So it's native to your Salesforce. You don't have to go out and go back in. It sounds like to me that the segmentation that you do currently could just be done right within MakeSbridge. If that newsletter field is a custom or standard field that we can include in your Salesforce integration, then we can easily segment off of that. And we can actually just create a target so that segment is continuously updated. So anytime you uncheck or check somebody from that box, it will automatically update the target within MakeSbridge. That might make your life a little bit simpler when it comes time to sending out your newsletter. The other thing I think that we might be able to do for you, you don't have a whole lot of volume, but we offer a snippet called Bridge Stats, and it's a web tracking snippet. So anytime that anybody clicks on your email and goes to your site, we're going to place a cookie on them, and you're going to be able to see everything they do and everywhere they go, every time they come back to the site. And the beauty of that is that that piece of information can be leveraged as well, or all those pieces of information. So say you have a new product announcement that you put out, and any of the people who have been cookied show some interest in that product by visiting that particular part of the site. Or maybe there's a particular page that you're interested in them going to. So then you could, for example, set up an automated email that goes out for anyone who looks at that page more than once. Now, if they visit that page twice in the last 30 days, you can send them an automated email saying, hey, would you be interested in being contacted, or set up a meeting regarding XYZ product. So there's a lot you can do with the website tracking as far as getting more granular in what you know about your customers and what their activities are. So
okay.
that might be something of value to you. You may also set up a nurture track if someone enters a similar criteria, and that means that they're interested in HVAC stuff. Mm-hmm. You might just send a series of emails over the next 6 months, just letting them know about different parts of your HVAC offering, or include sending some informational stuff along with that, so that you're not just always pounding them with product, but sending them actually some useful information, and then also including what your products are as well. So those, when you talk about automation, it's basically set it and forget it. You can set up some automation practices based on segments you want, and you can trigger those off. And once you set it, you don't have to think about it anymore. Anybody who meets that criteria, anybody who you know, whatever criteria it is that you set up in your segment, they'll automatically enter into that nurture drip and start receiving that series of emails. So it's a nice way to keep it. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like for example, two different segments we'd have would be the builder developer, and then let's say the contractor installer. Two very different segments with different needs, and so we would want information.
Yeah, and those, you know, and the segment could just be something that's set up in Salesforce. You know, if you have two different designations in Salesforce based on that kind of criteria, yeah, you could have a set of messages that just goes out, you know, keep in contact with people, let them know you're around, but it's also specific to their interests, you know. Sounds like you probably have a couple different divisions and a couple different segments that would receive a different kind of message, so that might be an effective strategy.
Okay. I'd like to see like a demo of the system, and then walk through, and like some examples would be good too, to get a better sense of it as well.
Sure. I mean, do you have just a couple? I mean, what kind of budget do you have for this? You know, what kind of?
It hasn't been determined at this time, but there's flexibility for sure. If we feel the need for it, we can certainly work it in.
Yeah, because you don't have a ton of volume, so it's, you know. I'm looking at your pricing here.
Oh, you're looking at
the packages?
Yeah, I'm just package. So the Pro or Enterprise or Engage. So yeah, probably be the Pro.
Right, and there's some flexibility in there, and you can that would be a good starting place, I would imagine. Junaid, were you interested in maybe doing a little bit of a demo today?
Yeah.
I mean, or we could set it up as another.
Well, to clarify, there was a separate webinar, wasn't there, for that was for a bunch of people invited to, and then this was more an exploratory conversation. Yeah. I could follow along with the webinar if that's
better. You signed up for one of our webinars?
Yeah.
Yeah, that gives you a basic introduction. Which one did you? When were you signed up for?
Marketing automation, I believe.
Yeah, it was the basic email tour. So I know about that, Michael.
Oh, okay, go. I mean, would that cover what James is interested in?
That's why, James, I wanted to have a one-to-one call, because in that demonstration, it's not specific to Salesforce. It's just an overview of the platform and the email creation part, and it's pretty basic, not geared towards Salesforce, which is really what we need to talk. So that's the reason if we can kind of set up a one-to-one call, maybe the same day, if you think it's better, we can just kind of push that meeting a bit, 1 hour before or after, whenever you're flexible, or any other day if you're available. So it's gonna take like only 30 minutes to 25 minutes if I have to be just Salesforce specific. So yeah, we can definitely do that, but I prefer if we can have one-to-one call that will allow you to basically ask questions as well, because in the webinar, it's just it's going to be me speaking, and exactly. Plus, you won't be you'll be just typing questions along with other guys. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's do that then. I'll do take the webinar, and send me over any other ones you think might be relevant as well. Be happy to check them out, and then we'll have our conversation again to follow up to get more into the specifics of it.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it would be. I mean, I think. You get a look at the interface. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy to use, and You know, the fact that it's native to Salesforce, I think you're going to like. That alone. Just take automation out of the picture, which I think you should start exploring and using. But even if you took those features in the platform, I think you might find something friendly.
Yeah,
to you.
we've toyed with the option for a couple of years now, but we didn't really have the resources. But now we have more resources now, so now it's probably time to really dig into it deeper. So yeah, it's a good time to look more closely and see if it's a good fit for us.
All right, well, good, James. Well, I'll let Junaid follow up with you on setting up the demo and et cetera. And we appreciate your time. I think we can. I think we may be able to help you out.
Excellent. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks very
Junaid,
much.
did you have any other questions or anything, or did you want to set something up now, or?
Well, yeah. Well, I think I did sign up for that webinar. I can't remember off the top of my head when it was. I think it was this Friday, wasn't it, or something?
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Well,
So more you
I'll
sign in for that one.
Yeah, I'll let you two get together after that.
Yeah. Okay. That works.
Sounds great.
James.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you again then.
Yeah. If I need a NEMA enclosure, I'll call you.
Absolutely, we have what you need.
In a previous life, I dealt a little bit with HVAC and NEMA enclosures and all those kind of things. So.
Oh, cool.
I was on the commercial.
Coming from a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I was on the commercial side, but yeah, I imagine with all the. I mean, if you're getting hooked up with all the cable folks and everything, and you're doing residential, there's a ton of enclosures everywhere.
Yeah, it's the fiber revolution. Everybody's switching over, right? So so we're riding that wave, and it's pretty fun because business is good.
That's always good, isn't it? That's always good to hear. You do any fishing up there?
Me, no, not me personally, but there is some good stuff for sure.
Oh, I know. I've been invited up a couple times and haven't been able to go. Very remiss that I couldn't make it. My buddy goes up to BC about every 2 years, and he's always bugging me to come, but I haven't made it. Where in British Columbia are you?
Well, so Langley, which is Vancouver. It's like a suburb of Vancouver. So I'm about half an hour from Vancouver.
About a half hour, yeah. Yeah, my daughter and her 3 friends drove up to Vancouver after graduating from school. They drove up there and drove back. That was their final destination from California.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. Yeah, good time to come to.
Yeah, Portland, Seattle, somewhere else, Vancouver, then went over to Whistler and came back down.
Oh, nice. That's a good road trip right there. I've done the reverse myself, actually. So.
Oh, is that right?
Driven down to Cali there, and then back up the coast and everything. Portland's fantastic. I love Portland.
Yeah, I love Portland. I went to Portland just last year for the first time, and it was a cool little city. I really didn't feel big, and the public transportation was awesome. We stayed right downtown, and I didn't even, it was great. We didn't even think about our car.
Yeah, and then all the beer, of course, is good. The beer and the food.
I know. I exactly. Deschutes. I was only able to go to Deschutes for like 45 minutes because I sent my wife and daughters off shopping, and I thought I was clear for like 2 hours. And I came back right away. I was like very disappointed. And I wanted to taste more than one beer.
Well, next time I have to get back up there.
Yeah, it was good meeting you, and we'll talk again.
Yeah, we'll talk again. All right, thanks. Hello? Junaid?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, you're still there. Okay. So, yeah, I think on Friday I got that seminar. Let me check here.
Yeah, that seminar is at 11 a.m. Pacific. I've just checked that. You're registered for that.
Can you please send me? I don't seem to have it. didn't seem to be on my calendar, but I knew it was Friday. Can you please send me a link to that? I don't think I have the GoToMeeting access.
For the webinar?
Yeah.
Okay, so you still prefer first going through the webinar and then we'll schedule the one-to-one call?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay, no problems. I'll shoot you the link, and yeah, I mean, let's then connect from there.
Great.
Okie dokie.
I'll talk to. Yeah. Okay, I'll put it on there. All right. Send me I'll send you a response and let you know exactly when it's convenient on Friday after the webinar to have a chat.
Sounds like a plan. That'll work.
Okay.
All right. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks a lot. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.